Welcome back to Dancers Doing Stuff. This is the 15th episode, which is crazy. Thank you so much if you've watched all of them. If not, you can check them out on my channel. Like and subscribe. You know, I say it every time. My goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers before the end of 2020, and I'm at like 138, so we've got a little work to do, but you know, maybe it can happen. But today I am interviewing my friend Emma. She is an amazing dancer. She's also just like so cool. She has a gorgeous Instagram, so make sure you check it out when I show what her Instagram is. She's like a model. She's gorgeous. And she's also just so creative. She's always up to something. So I'm excited to talk to her about dance and life and projects and passions outside of dance, as always. So, of course, I need to hype her up and show her off and her gorgeous dancing. So I'm going to show you a awesome clip of her dancing. So enjoy. Ooh, so good. Oh, that's just like gooey. I love it. I love it. Okay. Welcome, Emma. Let's give her a round of applause. Yay! Welcome. Oh, wait, I muted you. You're here. Try again.
Oh my god, that intro is so gorgeous. Thank you so much.
No, I'm obsessed.
Anyone's ever said about me.
I'm obsessed with that video and just you in general because you're gorgeous inside and out.
Oh, I love the feeling mutual.
Thank you. Well, thank you for being here on this kind of gloomy Sunday, but it's almost Thanksgiving, so that's fun. And in the theme of Thanksgiving, we are going to be making something that I just kind of made up because I thought it might be a fun project. Gratitude bracelets. So it's kind of friendship bracelets with a twist. So basically the idea that I just thought of, I know that gratitude bracelets probably exist in the real world, but I thought we could make some friendship bracelets and add in a word with like some of these letters. If anyone has any of these letter beads, they're very popular lately. You can't see because my fingers are big. There we go. But we can write a word, either something that we're grateful for that we want to be reminded of, or something that we want to give the bracelet. If we want to give the bracelet to someone who you're really grateful for, and you can write a word that is like one of the things that is why you're grateful for them. So I have to pick my word, but I know you have some gorgeous embroidery floss, and I have these kind of fall colors.
I
Awesome.
spent way too long in Michael's picking out my colors.
It's dangerous in there. It really is. Okay, so what we need to do, we have our 3 colors. So first, we're going to get our string, and I would say just to be safe, make it like arm's length. And then cut your string. And you only need 3, like 1 piece of each string, like arm's length, because we're going to fold it in half.
Like the whole
Oh, yeah.
span.
You have very long arms, so maybe not your full arm's length. I always forget that I'm like hardly 5'3", and I really think that like I'm 6 feet tall. And I feel like a lot of people also think that I'm much taller than I am. Like whenever anyone stands next to me and they're like, "Oh, I forgot how short you really were." And I also forget that. So my arm's length is definitely not as long as yours.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think I got a good 6 feet on my arms.
Yeah, you definitely don't need that much for just one bracelet. Unless you've got really big wrists. But I don't think you do because I've seen them with their beautiful swirls. So while we are cutting this, I'd love to know just kind of a little bit about your story, how you ended up in New York, when you started dancing, where are you from? Tell everyone kind of your whole life story. I know that's, simple,
Okay,
just simple.
super simple life story from the time I was born. I'm gonna try really hard to talk to you while I cut strings, but those two things are gonna go together. Okay, so I'm from Michigan, born and raised. Lived there till I was 18 with my amazing family. I grew up dancing since I was 3, so I definitely did that whole studio life, competition studio, the whole shebang. Um, I started traveling with a touring convention called LA Dance Magic when I was like 13, like really, really young. And I traveled with them until I was 18. By the end of my time with them, I was going to like every city with them. So, not the
Wow.
most popular girl in high school because I was gone every single weekend, but I definitely got a good amount of dancing in.
Yeah.
After that, I moved to the LA Orange County area where I went to college for dance. I was only there for 3 years because college wasn't like quite my vibe. I wasn't in love with it, but once I start something, I definitely like to finish it. So I got my degree, I just condensed it into 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah. While I was in college, I started dancing Brazilian Zouk, which kind of created a different pathway for me. It's a ballroom dance from Brazil, fastest growing North American social dance. It's sort of grouped in those categories with like salsa and bachata and kizomba. If you're a partner dancer, you've heard these words before. Um, I was originally supposed to, little known fact, I was originally supposed to move to Brazil after my 3 years, and that's why I expedited my graduation so that I could just like live in Brazil. That didn't work out. I had a bunch of things fall through, which thank God this all happened because I definitely needed to live in New York. Um, I had a guy who I had been friends with and taught with a couple of times invite me to come to New York and be his partner. His name's Charles Espinoza, and that's exactly what I did. Moved to New York. His company Yozook was already thriving, and we pretty much doubled it in size in the
Wow.
half year before the world shut down.
Right.
Yeah, been here training in commercial dance and teaching Brazilian Zouk.
That's so cool. I love that. And when you started dancing, were you doing like all the styles, like this, like, taking every class of the studio, or did you focus on anything specific when you first started out?
Well, when I started out, the only class I was allowed to take was creative movement because I was 3.
Yes, we love a good creative movement class.
So, like, I kind of built from there. Like, then
Yeah,
the kids are allowed to take ballet. Then the kids are allowed to take jazz. By the time I was old enough to take all the classes, I took every single class,
yeah, I love that.
even which I can't do now to save my life.
I bet you could figure it out. I bet you could figure it out if you had
I
to.
bet I can. I bet.
But your rhythm is so good. I feel like that would help. That's so awesome. And did you I forget if you told me this because I know I it's so crazy because I've never even heard of Zouk, but I grew up where I'm from in Somerville is a big Brazilian community. So like my downstairs neighbors, we lived in like where I'm from, it's kind of like in Queens, how you have like houses, but they're apartments. So me and my family lived on the top floor, and then the two bottom floors were Brazilian families. So like I've been around so many Brazilian, wonderful food and wonderful culture. Eu falo português muito mal, and that's about where it ends.
It's not so bad.
I used to be able to understand it better. I need to practice, so we should practice. But I never even heard of this until I met you, and it's so beautiful. Could you kind of like describe it to anyone who's watching or who might not know? I mean, was what the video that I showed, was that Zouk, or was that just your own thing? I'm so fascinated by this style because it's so, like, I feel like not enough people know about it, and it's gorgeous.
I agree. I agree completely. The style of the video was not Zouk. That's sort of my own take on heels.
Okay.
I'm trying to cultivate like a heel style that's very Latin-y, not so much Latin in culture, Latin in technique. That's
Okay.
very uses a lot of your muscles in a way that we don't usually when we think of like commercial heels. So that's that video.
Cool.
Brazilian Zouk is a very new partner dance as far as partner dances go. Usually, like dances like salsa date back like hundreds of years. But Zouk is relatively new. So the story is there's a dance called Brazilian Lambada. Have you heard of
Okay.
Lambada?
Mm-hmm.
It's sort of their like most famous cultural dance, but sometime in the like mid 1900s, it became very, very taboo because it was known as the forbidden dance. It was over sexualized. They actually put it in a lot of pornographic films.
Oh,
So
wow.
dance itself was tied with porn. So they were like, we can't do this dance anymore. This dance is basically sex. Like, get it away from our culture. So what happened was to preserve the dance, they took new music from the Caribbean, which is Zouk music. So Zouk in itself, in the name, is Caribbean. There's a
Okay.
different dance in the Caribbean islands called Zouk. So that's why we call Brazilian Zouk. Is
Wow.
change the technique a little bit to make it more digestible for the Brazilian culture, and then put with Zouk music, and that's where you get Brazilian Zouk.
Wow, that is so cool. I need to, and just for anyone who's listening or for watching, definitely check out. I mean, Emma has a lot of great videos on her page, but definitely go check that out and check out her classes that she's been teaching. Have you been doing any online classes with Zouk during this pandemic? I know it's like been crazy.
It's been crazy. It was very difficult at first, especially just for like my heart, because I teach for people. I teach to be with people. I teach to interact with people. So it was just really missing the mark at first for me. Like I did not enjoy teaching online at all. No one would come to the class. It was very like it was not fun. So I started and I stopped and I started and I stopped. And what became true for me in that process was teaching only women. I was like,
Mm,
most people didn't have a partner anyways. So I was like,
yeah.
what can we offer now while we're inside? More so ladies technique, which was cool, but still kind of missing the mark for me. So I did one round of my ladies team for Brazilian Zouk was called Divina.
Mm,
So I did one round of Divina online program, which kind of married the idea of Brazilian Zouk technique along with women's empowerment courses. So that was, of
mm,
course, the round one of that. And then through more self-reflection and figuring out what was going on with me, I decided the second round of Divina Online and actually the whole company of Divina moving forward would be feminine movement instead of Brazilian Zouk. I was feeling like the
interesting.
restrictions of the dance were restricting my creativity in a time where I just needed to be like fluid.
Right. We already have enough restrictions. We don't need to be putting more on ourselves. Totally.
Exactly. And I just feel like so many incredible instructors are teaching Brazilian Zouk online right now. And I can drop those links for you if you want.
Yeah,
But I
totally.
didn't feel like what I was offering was unique or really even necessary. I would almost rather even tell my students, like, hey, she's teaching on that day. You could just like go take her class and come to my class to feel more free and more creative. So
Mm,
that's what I'm doing presently.
I love that so much. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited to talk more about that. But first, let's check out your string. So you cut your string.
Yeah.
Amazing. Oh, we can get there. We can get there. Okay, so I don't know if you can see what I did. So I folded the string in half
Okay,
and
folded.
then tie at the top a knot, but leave a little bit of a like space so that there's a loop.
Do you have all three of your strings together?
Yep.
Okay, let me do that. Let me get them together.
Yeah, get everything, get it all together.
Get it together because you have it together.
2020, get it together.
Get your strings together. Oh my God, you know what I feel like? In Hercules, the fates with the
Uh-huh.
string.
Oh,
That's how I.
yes. And they cut the string so dramatic and scary. That scared me. But I love Hercules. Actually, that movie is like one of the first movies I ever remember going to see in a theater. I
Oh,
had to
really?
be really little because I need to look up when that movie came out, but I remember very specific memory. Me and my dad showed up late to the movie, which
Oh
is
no.
not uncommon for us to show up late when it's just me and my dad in charge of getting somewhere. And I
Oh,
remember walking into the movie theater and I was like nervous because we were late that we were going to get in trouble. And we walked in at the part where Pegasus turned into like a real Pegasus, a real horse.
oh,
And,
and you were
and
pretty
so,
late then.
yeah. And I remember, but the popcorn was great. But I have such a vivid memory. That's the first memory I have of going to the movies. So I'm all about Hercules.
Please is a great movie. Wait, okay, so I have my strings together and I have
Okay.
them. They're folded in half. How do
Okay.
I do that?
So just like as if you're tying like a regular knot,
Got
make
it.
a bunny loop and you put it through. And then when you tighten it, just kind of pull it down a little so that the knot isn't at the very top.
Pull it down a little, so that not. Before I tighten it.
Beautiful. That's exactly perfect.
Okay.
Gorgeous.
I have to admit, I've never made a friendship bracelet before. My childhood wasn't exactly super friend filled. So I never had a friend to make a bracelet with. So this is.
Honestly, that I love that. Also, I was the girl who like also didn't really have many friends, but made a lot of friendship bracelets and gave them to people, and people were probably like, "Why are you giving me this?" Have you seen the there's a new holiday movie that just came out, or like a show. It's called like Dash and Lily. It's one of those like holiday Netflix things. It's very fun to binge. But this literally is something that she does in it. She does like a flashback, and she made friendship bracelets for like her entire sixth grade and passed them out at the winter dance, and they all just like threw them on the ground. And I really started crying because I was like, this is too real for me. But that's why I just make them for myself. So I showed you this before. I love a good friendship bracelet, but I haven't been making them as much as normal. But it's very relaxing, I think, for me. So, this is like the trickiest part, but you're gonna be okay. So,
Oh
you're
God.
gonna need to like tape it down to something or just like attach it somewhere so that way like it's in front of you. So, I'm gonna try and show you how we actually do the knot while it's also taped down, which may be tricky, but I'm gonna tape it to my computer. But basically, the whole trick with friendship bracelets is you make a figure four. So
Like in yoga?
kind of no. Kind of more like the number. So what you want to do first is separate your strings like 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So like if you have your gray on the first string, it will be the last string on the other side. Does that make sense?
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. We're gonna do this.
Exactly. You are going to get this, and then you're going to be obsessed with friendship bracelets, and it's going to be your new life's passion. So, we have our strings. I wish one day I'm going to be like extra fancy and figure out how to have like another camera angle like from above so that I can actually show the craft like visually to everyone.
Which
But
is for free.
taking your outside string and your second string, you're going to make a 4. So you hold it kind of with your thumb and make a 4. So it's kind of hard to show. basically, it would be so much easier in person, obviously. You can do this. We're going to get it. So you hold it with your thumb and bring it across.
Is it your outside string?
Yeah,
So
over
I'm
the
holding
second
the
string.
outside
So I'm
string.
basically, yeah, I'm bringing it over and kind of like you're basically tying a knot on the second string with the outside string.
Okay. So the
And
two
then,
strings that are
yep.
next to each other, I made a 4. Now what?
So bring the outside string around the second string and through the hole of the 4.
Got so like a loopy.
Yeah, a loopy. Then you're going to pull it tight and bring it up to the top and it'll be like a knot. And you're going to do that twice on that string before you set it aside.
Mm-hmm. And then the outside string remains the outside string for the next 4?
No. The
No.
outside string becomes the second string and you put the second string to the side as it rests. And you take the third string. It's so hard. It's so funny because during this pandemic and because like, everything's virtual still mostly, like it really is hard to you have to learn new ways of teaching is like especially even like teaching kids like I do or just, learning new things about like how to like in person it would be so much easier to show you this, but it's like it's funny to see like how it is. So you make your 4 around the string, make a loop, go through it. And then you pull it up tight.
So let me get this straight.
Okay.
Once I did it 2 times, my outside string is now back to being my outside string, and my second and third strings are switched.
So basically, you're using your outside string all the way across. So your outside string is going to be, let me see one that's already done. So we're making like a V. So see how this right here, the yellow, that was my outside string. So it goes across. So like this one, I would do a knot on this blue string. Then I would move across to the next string, This one has like way more strings, so it's a little more complicated. Let me see.
I think
You'll get it. Once you get it, it's gonna click. If not, we can also always just braid.
No, Haley.
But I believe in you.
I'm so gonna get this.
And we're not gonna finish it all in one day. It takes some time. So like don't feel rushed. You can do this.
Okay. I just need to get the start from you, because then if I get the start from you, then I can do it.
See? You're already empowered.
Okay, so I think I did my second knot thing wrong. I know I did my first one right, which is lit.
Okay. It's hard because I also can't see it because we have to tape it down.
Yes, we do have to tape it down. Okay. So I think I went backwards. Like I took my outside string and I made my knot with my second string, and we were switched. So then I used the second string as the new outside string. Is that wrong?
Yes, don't do that. So use one string to the middle. Yeah.
So I'm going outside string with second string, then outside string with third string. Then
Exactly. You got it. You got it. It's just, you just gotta practice it. So I'm gonna let you do that and then let me know when you get to the middle, when you get to the third string, that's when you pause.
I just did the third string. We're there.
Okay, so now, this is where it gets a little confusing. If it wasn't confusing already. You're gonna take the same color from the other side, and you're gonna go backwards. So like over the same thing you just did going towards the right, you're gonna go towards the left.
Yup.
And then once you get the 2 colors that are the same in the middle, that's when you can pick either one to do your knots, 2 knots on those strings together. So it should be like 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3 at that point. You're gonna get it. I believe in you.
Wait, I think I do get it. I think I do understand you.
It's
It's
really hard to learn over Zoom, so I'm very impressed.
I feel like how I felt in calculus a little bit.
It definitely works your brain.
Okay, we are there. We are
Okay.
there. Two colors are the same in the middle, and that was my outside strings.
Amazing. Okay, so now you're going to do the same thing with two. So go
Oh, wait, I
from,
need two knots in the middle, correct?
yes, don't
Okay.
forget that. That's vital. And once you do it with three, you're going to start to see the pattern and it's going to make you feel better.
Two.
And we
I
have some hearts from my friend Kate. She's
Hi,
sending us
Kate.
love.
Kate probably knows how to make a friendship bracelet.
I don't know. Well, I don't know if she knows. Maybe I'll have to ask her. Kate, if you're out there and you know how to make a friendship bracelet, comment below. Okay, I'm going to keep doing this and so I can show you. I'm going to do it a little faster. But then we are going to get into our first game. But as we do this, I also just wanted to know, because I know that you've also gotten into, you teach and you dance, but I know that you've recently gotten into kind of like directing and just
Yes.
creating videos and stuff. I've seen some of the really cool videos that you've done, and I know you did that even before you moved to New York. So I was kind of interested to know how you started creating concept videos and how that process is for you.
Yeah. So when I was in college, we had to choose a thesis project. Um, like most programs, you have to do like a culmination of everything you've learned. And for the dance program at Chapman University, the thesis is very open. So you can choose to write about, learn about, do pretty much whatever you want. So I was very interested in social media and how that was affecting dance because it seemed like whoever had the biggest following worked the most. And that was kind of just scientific experiments or scientific calculation, I guess, that turned out not to be true. Now,
Oh no, you're frozen. I lost you.